What's up guys, C-Twan13 here, and in today's video we're going to be unboxing the ZSCMALLS portable 15.6 inch monitor. Alright guys, so what we got here is the ZSCMALLS portable monitor. Now this thing is a 15.6 inch full HD IPS display. Now this thing works over USB-C, but it also has an HDMI port. And one of the reasons I ended up choosing this one, and we'll see if I end up liking it enough to keep it, is the price. Okay, so the list price of this thing is 170 bucks. And you say, well, for one of these portable monitors, that's pretty standard. However, at the time of purchase, and I think it's still available now, you can get a $20 off coupon, which puts this dead on at 150 bucks. Now at 150 bucks, that's pretty compelling, even considering that it doesn't list that it's 100% sRGB, and it doesn't include anything fancy like obviously a built-in battery or anything, which you don't generally see until you get to the $200 mark. In addition, this isn't a touch display, so I just want to put that out there. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look inside. Now, as always, I'll leave the link in the description if you guys are interested in checking this thing out. And I gotta say, the brand name ZSCMALLS, I don't know where these Chinese companies end up getting their inspiration for their names, but it's always interesting. So my primary reason for getting something like this and picking this up is for productivity. So as you guys know, I've been doing a lot of work on Galaxy Book Pro 360. And as you can see on screen there, that's the Amazon page for the monitor that we're unboxing right now, and I love it. The OLED display is great. It's actually really color accurate. Battery life is really good when I'm not really pushing it, doing a lot of heavy editing. But then again, usually when I'm doing heavy editing, I'm actually at home, so that's not a problem. I love it. However, as it is with any laptop, even if the screen was larger, generally speaking, you've only got one display. Now, obviously, you've got things that have like dual displays and a little separate panel on the bottom. That's different, right? But for most conventional laptops, you've only got one display. So something like this is a compelling option if you either work with a mini PC, which some people do, and they like to, when they travel, to just take the mini PC, a compact keyboard and a mouse, and they've got a computer set up in a backpack, right? However, it's just as useful for people that use a laptop for work, but when they travel and they set up in a hotel or their mobile office or whatever it is, they want to have a separate monitor so that they can do a dual display setup with more productivity going on and more windows open. Something like this makes a lot of sense. So you can see, nicely padded. And here's our manual. And here is the display. Now, another thing to note, this thing, of course, has a cover, which you might say, don't they all? No, they don't. Some of them actually don't come with a cover. Now, you guys have seen my phone review videos and phone case videos. I'm generally not at all a fan of folio style cases for most things, including tablets and phones. However, when it comes to a portable display like this, honestly, I think that's the best case scenario because you're gonna put this in a bag. Do you really want to have another sleeve for your separate display in addition to your laptop or tablet or whatever else you're using? I don't think so. So having the folio style cover is actually a good thing. So you can see this is the display. Not a glossy display, by the way. This is a matte finish display, so that's going to be nice for some of you guys, although I know some people, including myself, actually prefer a glossy display as long as it's not overly reflective. But we'll get to this in a minute. Let's just see if it comes with anything else. So let's see what you get here. USB-A to USB-C, mini HDMI to HDMI, and then USB-C to USB-C. And you get a little power brick in here. This is just a standard USB-A output power brick. Let's see what it says. Output 5 volts, 3 amps. That is probably to power the display for devices that can't power it. Now we're gonna see if my laptop can power this without any additional adapters, because keep in mind, like I said before, no built-in battery. So I know for some people, that's not even a consideration. They don't even care. And for some people, they won't even consider a portable display like this if it doesn't have a built-in battery. So we're gonna take a look, obviously, and see how it works, because you have to keep in mind, if it's running off of your laptop or whatever device you're using, it is gonna drain that battery. So that's something to keep in mind. If you would prefer to have a maybe a little bit thicker, heavier display that has a built-in battery, that is something to consider. However, that's going to cost you more, and it's going to cost you a little more in weight as well. So that's something to keep in mind. So before we get into testing, let's just take a quick look around the display itself. So you've got this nice canvas style cover, and here it is on the back. And these, I imagine, are removable. Yeah, they are. So you can basically use probably just use a coin, but definitely a flathead screwdriver, and pull this cover off so you've just got the display itself. In addition, an advertised feature that I thought was kind of neat with this thing is there's a little hole here. And the way they advertise this is they say you can basically stick like a Bic pen or a pencil or anything through there, and even with this cover removed, and use that as a stand. So even if you don't have this with you, or you don't want to have to use this as a stand, you can use a pencil. So basically, if you're in an office environment, you're never going to be without a stand. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now let's take a look. Let's just see how this thing actually sits up on these notches here, because obviously if it slips, it's no good. Pretty solid, the first notch. Pretty solid on the second notch. Let's see how this one works. Honestly, very solid. It's not slipping at all. So you can see it works well in that respect. No magnet or anything to hold it closed, but again, something this size, it's not really a big deal. For ports, you've got your mini HDMI. You have, so yeah, this one is just for power in, and then this is your USB-C and I guess Thunderbolt port or whatever. And you've also got a micro USB here. Although they didn't even include a micro USB cable, but I guess ostensibly, if you have a micro USB and you still use a lot of micro USB type devices, then you can also charge via that. On this side, you've got nothing, and on the top, you have nothing. So if we look at the back, by the way, I think I forgot to mention this earlier, you do have the ability to mount this, and you have 2 speakers. So this does have built-in speakers, so we're definitely going to put that to the test, because I can see if you're somebody that's going to be bringing this for use with a game console or something like that, definitely if the speakers are junk, this isn't going to work for you, right? Likewise, if you are somebody that's going to be using this for purely image editing work, then honestly, maybe the speakers don't matter to you at all. So again, this is something to keep in mind, and also keep in mind the price. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and hook this up to the laptop and test it out. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the included USB-C cable because, well, I think people might end up doing that. And let's hook it up. Now I've also got pulled up over here on my computer a Sony 4K display demo video. Obviously this isn't a 4K panel, but it should still do the job of showing off this display. All right, so let's go ahead and double check. I don't remember exactly which one was the input. Okay, this one. So we're gonna go ahead and see, and I'll just fold it this way so you guys can see here. I'm gonna hook this up to a standard USB-C port on my computer. My computer does have a Thunderbolt 3 port, but we're gonna try the standard one first, see what that does. So I've just plugged it in. I saw the display flash, my computer screen, and it is now mirroring my display. So as you can see here, we're in the browser. I use Brave, but again, whatever you need to get to YouTube. So here we are. I'm gonna full screen it. So I'm gonna mute the audio because I don't actually know if the music in this video is copyrighted, but we will test the speakers in just a minute. All right, there we go. So as you can see, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Checking the colors. Again, all of this looks really, really nice. I want to check a couple of the black scenes because obviously, you know, it's an IPS LCD. It's never going to get as good as the built-in OLED on the laptop. But let's go ahead and check some of the black scenes here, like some dark scenes right here. So again, you're also to contend with the fact that there's light coming from overhead. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna lay these next to each other. And I know this is gonna be the greatest comparison in the world, but I'll put it on the other side, how's that? There we go. All right. So hopefully you guys can see the difference here. And I'll even shut off the overhead light a little bit better. Obviously this thing is a lot more glossy, so see if I can prevent some of that reflectivity there. So I don't know if you can see, but not bad on the color reproduction, although this one will probably need to be calibrated. This is a calibrated screen display profile. So this is running on an Adobe RGB profile. So this thing is accurate within Adobe RGB, and it has a wider color gamut than even Adobe RGB. So this is a much more wide gamut display. I don't know what the color gamut is on this one, but it didn't even make any claims about sRGB. So I have my doubts about how highly color accurate this is. So again, I'm not recommending this for super color accurate work, but still you can see overall, it's a nice display. And if you're using this for watching movies or as a secondary display for holding documents or reference images that you're not using as direct color references, this would actually be a pretty good display. If you're going to be using this as a color reference display, I think there are better options, and you can certainly find those on Amazon. If I can find any wide color gamut displays as well, I'll definitely link that in the description. But anyway, for now, we're just going to compare these two. So I'm going to just play the video real quick, and you can kind of do a comparison here of the color. So you can see this one is definitely not quite as color accurate. And of course, blacks aren't as great, but nonetheless, I'm pretty impressed with this overall. And you can see the colors are a little washed out, right? So the next thing I want to do, because of course, this thing might be used for content consumption and also gameplay, you're going to want to know, what do those speakers sound like? So I'm going to put this tilted, because that's the only way that those rear firing speakers are probably going to work. And we're going to just check out some copyright free music real quick. All right. I don't know if there are volume controls. Let's see. Okay, there. Oh no, that's the backlight. All right. Hang on, guys. Because it's maxed out on my computer side, so let's see. So in conclusion, what are my thoughts on this thing? Well, for productivity work that doesn't require high color accuracy or great speakers, this thing I think is not a bad choice. However, if you're going to be gaming on this thing, you got two problems. Potentially the speaker thing, unless you're using headphones, and also the 60 hertz refresh rate. Being an IPS panel and being 60 hertz, you don't have the advantage of super fast response times like you do with an OLED, and you have a low refresh rate, which is going to lead to a less than pleasant gaming experience in comparison to a high refresh rate display. And like I said before, there are other options on the market that do offer those features. Now keep in mind though, if you want a super high refresh rate display, you're probably going to end up paying about $100 more. The only ones that I could find that were 120 or 144 hertz were about $250. So give or take 20 bucks, around 250 bucks, you can find one of these with a high refresh rate display. However, if that doesn't matter to you, then honestly, this isn't a bad choice. So if you're interested in checking it out, I'll leave the link in the description. But anyway, guys, if you liked the video, don't forget to give me a like. If you have any questions, comments, or your own experiences with this external display or other displays like it, and if you have one that you think is better, definitely let me know, because if I find out that it is, I'll definitely be swapping this out for something else, because for me, having the best display I can for the best price in this particular use case is what I'm looking for. And as always, if you want to see more, don't forget to get subscribed.